Hello everybody. Today we will discuss about the basic concepts of the digital signal processing, and you all are welcome at this in this lecture. As we know, the digital signal processing has the three words. One is the digital, second one is the signal, and the third one is the processing here. So first of all, we will try to discuss this concept, that is what is the digital signal processing. So in order to describe the concept of the digital signal processing, first of all we will consider this concept, that is what is the signal. Signal is nothing but it is a physical quantity or the physical energy or the physical phenomena that is varying or changing its value with respect to any one variable or more than one variables, or we can say signal is a function of the independent variable or the variables here. So if we consider here the signal is nothing but mathematically it can be said to the function of the variables. Say the variable is any one variable x, or there may be the more than one variable x1, x2 and so on here. And we can say the signal is a function of the independent variables that conveys some information. Since it conveys the information, it means it has very important role, because the information drives the whole world. And when we are trying to describe the signal, we can say the signal, for example, in the digital signal processing, this may be considered as a function of any particular variable. For example, say the time. It means here the quantity or the physical value or the physical energy is changing with respect to time here. Now if this time is continuous, that the signal's variation is taking place for each and every value of the time, then that is known as the continuous time signal. And in general this may be also considered as a waveform. So here we can say the signal may be categorized into the two categories. One is the continuous time signal, and the second one is or we can say this is the analog signal here, and the second one is the digital signal. Here if this is the signal, ft is a signal. For example, this is represented something like in this manner here, that is the y-axis is representing here the value, that is the f of the t, where the x-axis has the independent variable, that is the t. Then it exists for each and every value, and since it is analogous to the physical phenomena that is related to this function, so this will be named as the analog signal. Now if it is discretized, how the discretization will take place? For example, say in place of considering the total signal here, now suppose we are just interested to consider some portion of the signal, then we are at the same time we are discarding the another portion of the signal for the same duration. That is, for the same duration we are considering the signal, and for the next duration we are considering here the signal here. That is, we have considered the signal for this duration and we have discarded for the next duration here, that is this one here, and so on. Now this is the duration for which we have considered the signal, and this is the duration for which we have discarded the signal here. Now if we again see, then we can say this is the same signal whatever is here, but it is discretized in the time domain. That is, here we have considered for certain duration, and for the same duration we have discarded it. Or we can say that it is nothing but that one is written as the, has been selected for the different values of the t and multiplied by the k. K is integer and it starts from 0 to up to say a certain value 0, 1, 2, 3, say up to the capital value n or any other value here. Now again if we see, then this signal is discretized here, but the nature is the analog here. So analog signal may again be categorized into the two categories. One is the continuous time signal, here the CT, and the discrete time signal here. Now see, the each and every continuous time signal is said to be the analog signal here. Similarly, the discrete time signal is also the analog signal. And if this is the discrete time signal, then this will be also the analog signal, or we can say each and every continuous time signal may be analog signal, but the vice versa is not true. That is, the each and every analog signal cannot be considered as always the continuous time signal. This may be also the discrete time signal here. So what is happening here, how the continuous time signal will be converted into the digital signal? Basically what happens in the continuous time signal, whatever is the signal, for example say as we have considered here the f of the t. Now in place of selecting the total signal, here we are passing this signal through a switch. That is, the switch is on for the particular time t, and then for the next capital T it is off here. So we will select the different portion of this signals, and the next portion will be discarded here, and this is known as the sampling here. And the sampling frequency is described by the f of s, where the f of s is nothing, it is described as 1 by t. So the capital T is named as the sampling time interval or the sampling period, and the inverse of the t, that is the capital T, is named as the f of s or the sampling here. So after sampling, what is happening, whatever is the continuous time signal, that will be converted into the discrete time signal, or we can say now this will become here the f of the kt, something like in this manner here. Whereas the f of the t is this signal here. Now if we again see, then for this duration for which the signal is existing here, this has a range of the values, but we are interested in order to represent the value with the help of the digits here. So in order to convert this one, now we will hold this value here for this duration, and similarly we will hold this one for this duration here. Or we can say, in place of selecting a range of value, next step is to get a certain level of the value here. Or we can again say here that as we have discretized, that is, we have considered the different levels of the time. Similarly, we are trying to consider here the different levels of the amplitude. Or in other words, we can say here we are trying to discretize the amplitude also here. So the next step is when we pass this one f of the kt, that is the, here we will select the different levels, that is known as the quantization level here. Say it is passed through a quantizer, in when we will select the different level, then now this signal will be represented, the quantized signal, that is the fqkt here, the quantization of the fkt here. And now how is this will be represented? This representation of this signal will be something like in this manner, that is, in place of range of the values, now there will be certain level of the values here, something like in this manner. So here this is the f of the t, this is the f of the kt, and this is after the quantization, that is the f of the qkt, and the x-axis is represented by the t here. Now here we have a certain value, that is the analog, here the value represented in the decimal domain here. Now that value may be represented with the help of the binary digits here. The binary digits that is named as the bit here. Binary digit having the two labels. One is the 1 and the second one is the 0. Higher may be considered 1 and the lower value may be considered as the 0, like this. Here we can select here the range of the value, that is if this is up to this value here, for example say the 5 volt, 3 volt, whatever is the selection here, then this may be considered as the 1, and if this is the 0, then this may be considered as the 0. Another way is to represent the higher value, positive value by the 0 and the negative value by the 0 here. That is the positive one will be selected as the 1 and the negative will be selected as the 0. Or the vice versa may be also considered here. So we can consider here the bits 1 and 0. So whatever is the value that will be represented by these bits, or we are trying to code these values here, that is here encoding will take place. So after encoding, that is here the coding or the encoding that is passed through the encoder, then we will get here the digital signal here. So this is the digital signal here, that is whatever is the analog signal, first that will be converted in the form of the discrete time signal with the help of the sampler, or the sampling process will take place here. Next is the quantization, and after quantization we will get the different level of the amplitudes here. So after getting the different level for the different time duration here, that will be encoded, and hence we will get here the digital signal here. Now if we again consider this process here, that is what is the different types of the signals and what are the different types of the processing will take place here, then just see here. In this one we are just trying to describe the type of the processing here. Why the processing is required? Here we have described the two words, that is the what is the signal, and then we have described what is the digital here. How the digital signal will be generated here means first whatever is the continuous time signal, that will be converted into the discrete time signal with the help of the sampler, that is after following the sampling process here. Then after the sampling it will be quantized, and then after encoding we will get here the digital signal. Next step is the processing. Why the processing is required? Processing is required in order to get the more informative signal here, that is to enhance the level of the signal, having the better signal to noise ratio, or in other words we can say we are trying to minimize the unwanted portion of the signal. We are trying to extract the better information here. So for that purpose here the processing will be described the three types of the processing, that is the in signal processing, that is the signal processing itself will be divided into the three types of the processing. One is the processing that will be applied on the analog signal, will be named as the analog processing, and the second one is the digital processing. Naturally it will be applied to the digital signals here, and the third one is the mixed processing. Basically in analog processing was dominated up to the 1970, and 1970 to 2000 it was up to the 1970 here, and between 1970 to 2000 the digital signal processing was dominating to the analog signal processing. But nowadays we use the mixed processing. In the mixed processing we use the analog as well as the digital both. Why we are preferring here the analog? Because the most natural signals what are generated in nature, they are the analog. That's why we prefer here the mixed processing here. Now we will discuss here some advantages or some disadvantages of the digital signal processing over the analog signal processing here. As we know, in the case of the digital signal processing, that these signals will be represented by the binary numbers, that is the 0 and 1. And in analog, these are represented by the numbers in the continuous time interval. So what happens, if there is any addition, suppose there is a signal here in analog domain and there is any change in the amplitude, then now the shape will be distorted, something like in this manner. Distortion will take place here. But in the case of the digits here, they have some noise margin. For example, if we are considering the 5 volt as the value having the digit of the 1 and 0 volt having the value of the 1, then a range 0 to say 2.5 or 0 to 2, this may be considered as 1. Similarly here this may be 3 to 5, this may be considered as the 1 here. So there is a noise margin, and due to this noise margin, if there is variation in these voltages, that is in the digital signal, then the value of the 1 will remain 1 and value of the 0 will remain 0, provided the variation doesn't cross the value of the noise margin here. So this is the first advantage here, that the noise or the unwanted disturbance will not take place here. So due to this noise margin during the time of the processing, etc., there is better accuracy in the digital signal processing over the analog processing here. So the accuracy of the digital signal processing can be controlled by the word length here. That is, if we are interested to control the accuracy of the digital signal processing, then if we are interested in order to enhance the accuracy, then by increasing the word length we can control or we can get the better accuracy here. But in the case of the analog processing, in order to control the accuracy, there must be the variation in the components. The first advantage of the accuracy, control over the accuracy here, and the accuracy is better due to the binary digit representation here. Next point is that the noise and interference can be controlled, and noise and interference has less effect in comparison with the analog signals. And the third point is why we prefer the digital signal processing is the adjustment is easy here. For example, if we are interested for a particular frequency here, then in the analog signal processing, in order to adjust the value of the frequency, we have to change the value of the capacitor or the value of the inductor here in the LC circuit. But in the case of the digital signal processing, it requires the 3 components. One is the digital signal processing or the digital signal processor acquires the 3 type of the resources or the 3 type of the computational elements: adders, multipliers, and delay are the memory devices here. And these values and the values of the adder, multiplier and the delays can be changed with the help of the coding. So in this case the adjustment is easy here. Also, in the case of the analog signal processing, we have to change the value of the capacitor and the inductor. But in the case of the digital signal processing, or mixed processing, we have to change only the coefficient of the algorithm here. Next is the different part of the digital signal processing may have the different sampling rate here. So this is named as the multi-rate digital signal processing. Multi-rate digital signal processing is possible here, but it is not possible in the case of the analog signal processing here. In analog signal processing, during the time of the cascading, there is a problem of the loading effect, but in cascading there is no loading effect in the case of the digital signal processing here. Next is that the linear phase response. Here the linear phase response can be achieved only in the case of the digital signal processing, and when we say linear phase response, it means without any delay here. So the delay can be avoided in the case of the digital signal processing here. And if we are interested for the purpose of the transmitting, that is the transmitting, receiving and the receiving, these can be done virtually here without any error. Similarly the storing, that is the storing any storage and the retrieval here, the reproduction of this one, these can be done without any error here. So these are the advantages of the digital signal processing, for which we prefer the digital signal processing over the analog processing here. But at the same time, there are some disadvantages that are associated with the digital signal processing also here. The first thing is, during the time of the processing, what happens if this is the digital signal processing, then digital signal processing will naturally operate on the digital signals. So in the real life, whatever is the signal, they are the natural signals or the physical signal that will be converted into the electrical signal, and after that it will be converted into the digital with the help of the analog to digital conversion here. But before the analog to digital conversion, in order to process, there must be the hold circuit so that it can be hold for a required time of the processing, and before the holding there must be a sampling. So sample and hold circuit is required here. As we have discussed that if there is any signal, suppose the xt, then when it is passed through a sampler or the after sampling, it becomes here the x of the kt, and then this xkt will be converted into the digital with the help of the analog to digital conversion. Then we will get here the digital signal here. So whatever is the digital signal, now that digital signal will be processed here. So here, and after processing, again whatever is the output after processing, the digital will be converted into the analog, digital to analog conversion, and then it will be passed through the low pass filter in order to provide the smoothing here. Then we will get here the analog signal. Now if we see here, then analog, before the analog to digital conversion and the processing, there must be the sample and hold. So the digital signal processing, that the rate of the digital signal processing will depend upon the sampling rate here. For example, if the sampling rate is the 10 kilohertz, then the processing speed will be always less or equal to the 5 kilohertz due to the Nyquist criteria. That is, whatever is the bandwidth, here the sampling frequency must be greater or equal to the twice of the FM or the twice of the base bandwidth of the baseband signal here. Next is so the first disadvantage is the here the speed will be limited here. Speed of processing in the case of the digital signal processing is limited, and this will be limited by the sampler here, whatever is the sampling frequency, or it is limited by the sampling frequency, that is the f of s. And the second disadvantage is, naturally here we are including the sample and hold analog to digital conversion, then processing is applied. Similarly here after processing, digital to analog conversion, and then again smoothing is applied here. So here the complexity will be larger here. So the complexity increases in this case here. Now in the case of the analog to digital conversion, if we consider here the LC circuit, that is the inductor and the capacitor circuit here, then in this case virtually there is no loss of the power dissipation takes place only due to the resistance here. But what happens in the digital signal processing since we are using here the adder, multiplier and the memory devices, which and these devices are made with the help of the transistors or the active devices. So for the purpose of the biasing etc., there is a loss of the power. So the third component is the power dissipation. So these are the three major disadvantages which are associated with the digital signal processing, but having the dominant effect of the advantages here, we prefer the digital signal processing over the analog signal processing here. So in the next lecture we will discuss the concept of the digital signal processing. Here we have discussed what is the basic definition, that is what is the signal, how it will become the digital, and what is the processing, and we have discussed that here the comparison of the analog digital signal processing and the digital signal processing, that is what are the advantages of the digital signal processing over the analog signal processing here. So thank you very much.